Well, he was Canada's lightweight champion in 2014, and he had his sights on boxing in the Olympics. And then in 2017, he was shot 4 times in his leg, his torso, and his back. And that put him on a different path. Well, joining us now is Leo Samarelli. He is the head coach of West Coast Wheelchair Adaptive Boxing, and he's on the board of Boxing BC as well. Leo, hello there.
Hi there.
Now, I don't want to dwell on this, but not everybody's got a bullets in their back story. What happened?
Yeah, so in March 13, 2017, I was shot outside my home in North Vancouver due to a mistaken identity.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. But wow, have you ever been a master of adapting? I mean, how did you get back into boxing in a wheelchair?
It took some time for me to come back to the sweet science, actually. If it wasn't up for the encouragement of the community and my friends and family here, and honestly finding a new way to train in obviously a limited setting now, being in a wheelchair, not being able to use my legs. So adapting all my previous workouts for boxing and my regiment was necessary.
Well, and what changes? I mean, what kinds of, I guess, how does it change the sport when you're confined to a wheelchair?
Well, now that now obviously that I don't have my legs and having a wheelchair, so wheelchair skills are vital, right? Turning left and right and staying on balance now that my core has been affected too. So and adapting just something like skipping, adaptive skipping ropes, and just really, pioneering the way for adaptive training and adaptive boxing too. So.
Okay, and what about the competition itself? Are there still knockouts?
Unfortunately, due to the COVID incident, we were gonna have it at the end of the documentary to have that almost that exhibition, and we were going to get in the ring and spar and have like I said, an exhibition, and there would be contact, and with the proper head equipment and everything like that. We would obviously prevent any injury from the head or anything like that. But yes, there would be. It would be just like boxing. It'd be boxing and displaying the art of boxing.
Wow. So how do you prevent people from falling over, or do you?
Well, yeah. So we're actually not in our normal everyday wheelchairs. We're actually in our like a sports wheelchair, something similar to a basketball wheelchair or a tennis wheelchair that has an anti-tipper wheel on the back. So we can't necessarily fall backwards. Okay. And the individual themselves, obviously, if they can't defend themselves, if they're getting peppered by shots, that is the referee's job to come in there and, either bring them to the corner or call the match.
Wow. Now, it looks so intense. I'm really impressed. And I know that you train other athletes too, and you used to love skipping rope as part of your own training. So how are you able to adapt that for people in wheelchairs?
So, it really depends on the individual, because there's all sorts of different kind of disabilities, not just spinal cord injury. I do teach other people with obviously different abilities. So everything needs to be adapted. If they don't have that core movement, strapping is necessary to stabilize them in their chairs. And it's just really, we've adapted those skipping ropes for them to use, and just different ranges of motion that we wouldn't necessarily be doing or be expected to do in a wheelchair. It's an all-around full body workout, and definitely.
No, it's amazing. So, Leo, what would you say this sport in general, and I guess the community as a whole, what does it mean for the athletes?
Well, it goes farther than boxing, and like you said, it's community, and on the documentary it says it brings people together from all realms, right? And it forms like a community and a brotherhood or whatever. It's a great time to get all together and work out and just live a healthier lifestyle. And yeah, and it's the benefits would go physically, mentally, like everything. Who doesn't like punching stuff and getting their anger out and getting whatever out, out of their system. So it's a great workout,
A great release by the sounds of things
great
as
release
well.
for sure.
Yeah. Now you mentioned COVID-19 has affected the matches. What about your actual training protocol? You have to think about safety on that front as well?
Yeah, yeah. So right now, obviously the gyms have been closed, social distancing, and everything like that. So we did, in collaboration, team up with Spinal Cord Injury BC to hold some online classes for those at home right now. And I do hold online classes 3 times a week for people with disabilities, or it could be able bodies as well, participating in the class. So we did adapt it to the virtual realm, and also we are firing back to get people actually in the gym in person now that things are kind of settling down too.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, besides the boxing, you ski and you cycle as well. So how would you compare all of those sports, all those para sports?
Well, it's a skiing and cycling is more of a long distance kind of sport, right? It's a great cross training. Yeah, great cross training, and I also, like you said, compete in cross country skiing. So yeah, it's definitely seasonal for me, and I use boxing as a great way to cross train through that too, to reach my goals and all that stuff. So yeah, it's all just, if you're doing one movement, and when you combine all these movements together and you get a better range of motion, and yeah, it's great. It works all great together.
Okay, it all builds on each other, I see. So
Yeah.
now we're seeing that the Adaptive Boxing Organization is now advocating for this sport to be included in the Paralympics. What do you see as the challenges in that quest?
Obviously, safety is number one concerns, and I like to see like a one rule fits all system, where everyone from which we are in talks right now of like-minded people around the world from various countries of coming together and figuring out the judging and the reffing and the classification systems, right? Because obviously people with disabilities all have different levels, right? So combining that together with the proper safety and equipment necessary to do this, to display the art of boxing is that's what it's going to come down to. And it might sound weird to the normal person to hear that people with disabilities are boxing, but it can be done, and documentary shows that. And yeah, it was just one aspect of it. We didn't really get into the other disabilities, amputees or war vets, or all that kind of stuff. So this is just touching the surface of this. So be expected to see more in the future.
I hope so, Leo. Well, thank you so much for opening your world to us. Pleasure to meet you. You stay safe, okay? Take care.
Thank you.